You made it. It's 2024, the year of the Olympics, the year of the presidential election. Nope. This is a year of the Bitcoin halving. And if history does continue to rhyme, this roughly quadrennial event promises to bring an economic shock in a good way to anyone that has skin in the game. Without getting into reading tea leaves trying to guess specific price action, let's forecast a few other things that may latch on to the once-in-a-lifetime Bitcoin adoption path. Happy New Year and happy Genesis Block Day. It's Sir Ulrich, and notice in the first sequence, I did not say what will impact Bitcoin. I said latch on, i.e. ride the coattails, or success through apparent association. Bitcoin is powered through a year of global economic stagflation. Does Bitcoin owe that to the Fed pumping the economy? I don't think so. The last time Bitcoin was in the 40Ks, the effective federal fund rates were just coming off 0%. Now they're at 5.25%. How does the Bitcoin price correlate with the action of the Fed? How about it doesn't? Wow. Did we just obsolete Fed watching? I think we did. The Sir Ulrich signal meter is all green for Bitcoin in 2024. This is because Bitcoin is on its own schedule. That schedule is zeroed in on block 840,000. This is when the halving occurs and the block subsidy is cut from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin. The estimated date of the halving is somewhere around April 20th. Unlike fiat, Bitcoin is on a path of decelerating and pre-programmed inflation that will, at block 840,000, make Bitcoin's discovery rate lesser than the annual discovery rate of gold. This halving year is particularly interesting in that after 15 years since the Genesis block and being the world's 10th largest asset in market cap, there are still millions of investor class people who have little to no clue what Bitcoin is. There are institutions that are like hungry dogs waiting for Big Daddy SEC to allow them to purchase and package Bitcoin for the stock market. And then you have potentially hundreds of thousands of Bitcoiners participating in 60 to 70 formal events all over the world celebrating this impactful year. Bitcoin is without a doubt the most public secret out there. It's a true testament to how much people don't care about the state of their money and how much distraction marketing and consumerism is to the common person. If you're watching this video, you're one of the few that get it, or at least try to. So don't forget to share this with someone you love. The early 2023 Bitcoin price action coincided with the death of several banks. It's almost theatrical symmetry that the first Bitcoin ETF approvals are anticipated in the first half of January, almost a year later. Most of these ETFs will be operated by financial institutions that would be deemed critical to the stability of the economy. Bitcoiners have been projecting this series of events for years, which is why the most convicted continue to convert their fiat to Bitcoin even in the most dire of dollar exchange rates. Once these ETFs are approved, the marketing will be like nothing you've ever seen. Super Bowl commercials, NBA playoff ad campaigns, Times Square saturation, the Olympics, primetime television, even social media influencers will be talking about Bitcoin ETFs. Remember, Bitcoin doesn't have a formal marketing team, so many of the uninformed are going to put their personal dollars into a fund from a US company that says they have Bitcoin. Of course, the casual consumer will think they actually have the asset. And just like every other cycle, lessons will be learned. An ETF in no way, shape, or form exercises the use cases for Bitcoin, chiefly permissionless and trustless value exchange and self-custodial value savings. Without getting into the restrictions of retirements or other bodies of money that we have signed off to custodians, think about this. If you have $1,000 of buying power, do you want full ownership of its use, or do you want to ask permission of a third party that will tax you with fees and terms of use? How much is your freedom to transact worth to you? So what do Bitcoiners do without ETFs? We buy Bitcoin. And what do Bitcoiners do with ETFs? We buy Bitcoin. Simple. And simple will be the thing that ushers in the peaceful revolution, the bright orange future, or whatever nickname you would give global Bitcoin adoption. Financial fads like ETFs enrich their owners first and control others' wealth as a close second. Don't rely on others for your rights. Take custody of them yourself. In addition to the continual increasing market interest in Bitcoin, the altcoins will likely have some story that gains narrative traction this year. But people who tread down this path have the shortest memory and even lesser conviction about the reasons for their investment choices in the first place. But instead of me spending 10 minutes dragging some crypto project through the mud, I'll use this Culture Corner segment to let some familiar Bitcoiners share a perspective you would be wise to heed.
I mean, I kind of know your answer here. Is there almost no room for alts?
Oh, hi, Lawrence. Good to see you as well.
Good seeing you.
Listen, people love to gamble, and they love lotto tickets, and they love playing numbers, and they love casinos. And I think, if anything, we've seen that human nature doesn't really change, and you don't need much more than a meme to attach to, a security or a gambling proposition of some sort, and people will play it. So it's really just a matter of letting that kind of run its course. What I do really like, and what I think has been achieved over the last couple of years, is almost anybody that gets into this space at this point, and everybody that's in the space already, really does have a pretty clear demarcation between Bitcoin and non-Bitcoin crypto in their mind.
Thanks for the assist, Cory. Now try to find me when I'm open on the court. He said it himself, a casino and a gambling proposition. And in crypto, the odds are definitely not in your favor. If your thing is playing in a crypto venture capital walled garden, no one is going to stop you from doing it. Just make sure you don't blame Bitcoin for what is likely to come next. Jimmy Song has a similar disposition in a recent tweet where he forecasts what he thinks will happen in the next cycle. And what do you know? The same stuff that plagued people in cycles past. The allure of vaporware, marketing campaigns, the influencers of inflated self-importance, the instability and ambiguity of crypto projects, and the temptation of companies to gamble with their customers' money, only to get wrecked. When will they learn? If you find yourself involved with or exposed to any of these situations Jimmy mentioned, run like the wind in the opposite direction. Bitcoin's use case does not include carrying thousands of altcoins of empty value to the promised land. At some point, the affinity scams will simply run their course. You don't want to look back decades later and be one of the people that chose a fake Bitcoin because of unit bias, or a crypto influencer girl convinced you to pump her bags. And it's almost certain that a flock of influencers who claim to have the inside track on the invisible hand of the market will arise again. Like those traders in early 23 who told you to wait for $12,000 Bitcoin. Those people who were wrong on the bottom side are the same people that will be wrong on the top side as well. It's really easy to spot them. The ones that disappeared when the market was down, maybe they removed Bitcoin from their social media profile, but now they reappear again, increase their activity on X, TV appearances when the price action is favorable. It's an easy formula for the type you want to avoid. Don't get swayed by the extreme hopium and fair weather pundits. You are their capital, and your attention is worth much more than their scammy behavior deserves. One more thing to remember for next year. Bankers and political overlords will continue to lie, cheat, steal, and kill to protect themselves and their interests. Look no further than JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, who will curse Bitcoin as a scam or medium for criminals, and then be announced as the authorized participant for their Bitcoin spot ETF in the same month of December. Cue the Nick Young meme. Please tell me that you see this clown world too. And then there's Sam Bankman-Fried, former CEO of the Ponzi scheme FTX, who's back in the news this week. This time it's to say 6 charges against him would be dropped by the US government, including the one for using $100 million of customer-owned crypto funds as political donations. This could severely lighten his potential sentencing in March of 24. I guess bringing the benefactors of his devious schemes to the headlines, those of which could be Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, or Maxine Waters, would be pretty bad for their reputation. 2024 is not going to be easy on the mind. As cheesy as it may be, some simple New Year's resolutions can go a long way to persevere amidst the mental assault. These may include stay solvent, recognize the FUD, resist Moon Boy syndrome, grow in knowledge of Bitcoin and money in general. These are my resolutions, and if you do these with me, I can say with confidence, we gonna make it. I am Sir Ulrich, like my father before me. If you appreciate this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider Swan for your Bitcoin stacking needs.